We've all heard the saying that the longest relationship we'll have in our lives is the one with ourselves. And there's another one I've always loved. Anywhere you go, there you are. It sounds obvious, but if you really think about it, it's a bit terrifying. Because no matter what happens in your life or how much you change your circumstances, you will always experience things through the same brain, filtering information through the same lens, the same belief system, the same nervous system. Your job will change, your relationship change, but you experience it all through you. And in the medical field, we rarely talk about what kind of relationship we've built with our own brains. Most of my videos so far have been about how to survive med school, how to pass, how to endure, how to reach that distant, idealized goal of becoming a doctor. But have we ever thought about what happens when we get there? What happens when the thing you've been chasing for years becomes your everyday life? First of all, I wanted to talk about something I've noticed about myself. I noticed that I was happiest when something demanding in my life ended. I passed an exam, semester was over, and I could finally sleep in. An exam period was over, and I could finally stop studying. Or when I graduated. And when I started working, I was genuinely happy. I finally escaped the constant pressure of studying and being examined, at least for a while. So in the beginning, work felt amazing. My brain was fully occupied with patience. There was no time to sit alone with my thoughts or no time to overthink. I felt useful, engaged, involved. But that happiness didn't last forever. 3 or 4 months later, something shifted. The novelty wore off. And even though when people asked me, "How's your job?" I said, "It's amazing, I love it." And that was true. But in my everyday internal experience, something else was happening. There was dread, overextension, constant time math in my head, trying to fit everything into one day. Work, working out, meal prepping, social life, relationships, side projects, YouTube. Constantly optimizing, constantly calculating, constantly pushing. And at the end of the day, I would just be left with the negativity of I didn't manage to fit everything I wanted into this day. And I started to see life through a more negative lens. Like life is all about work and nothing else fits beside it because you're too exhausted afterward. Even though objectively I was in a much better place than years ago. I even started therapy as I had my own salary. And I was surprised by what my therapist said. She told me that I was handling things well and I was maintaining my balance and that this was normal. But if this is normal, why does it feel so heavy? So I came to the realization it's not that the situation was bad, it's that I managed to bring my old self into my new situation. If your core belief is that everything is hard, you will experience even good things as heavy. If your belief is that you can't maintain multiple pursuits all at once, you strip the joy from trying. You can look at a YouTube video as something creative and fulfilling, or you can look at it as pressure. Same actions, different internal lens. Your lens is made up of your already existing internal beliefs about the world, success, relationship, safety, and yourself. In psychology, these are called core beliefs. They are deep assumptions you developed early in life. Things like, if I don't push, everything falls apart. Rest leads to failure. Relationships are a struggle. Or nothing good lasts. Most of these beliefs once protected you. They helped you navigate family dynamics, academic environments, competition, uncertainty. They kept you safe. And medicine rewards these beliefs. Hypervigilance, self-criticism, anticipating worst-case scenarios, finding flaws before others do. In medical school, positive thinking doesn't help you pass exams. Being able to see exactly where you might fail does. The fact that you can skillfully anticipate potential catastrophes makes you a successful student and often a very good doctor. But that same skill makes even the good parts in your life bittersweet. Next, we'll talk about why becoming a doctor didn't fix you. There's another psychological phenomenon at play here: hedonic adaptation. Humans adapt quickly to improvement. You get into medical school, you pass an exam, you graduate, you get your first job. Everything you achieved that seemed impossible, once you achieve it, becomes the baseline. kind of the minimal requirement anyone can and should do. So becoming a doctor is not the end of your story. It's the moment you realize that you'll be living in your brain for the next 40 years. The question is, will you feel peace in your success? In this chapter, we'll focus on why we naturally gravitate towards the negative thing. Why do I always notice what's wrong? Why, even when patients celebrate their remission, does my brain immediately think of recurrence rates? Part of it is evolutionary. Humans are wired with a negativity bias. We notice threats more than blessings. But in medicine, that belief is amplified. We are trained to find pathology, look for recurrence, detect risk, and anticipate deterioration. It's literally our job and it's a skill. But your brain doesn't automatically switch modes when you leave the hospital. So you walk into your personal life with the same diagnostic lens. You analyze your relationships like they're cases to solve. You anticipate failure in projects. You scan for what could go wrong. And suddenly, even a good life doesn't feel safe. So, what do you do? How do you fix yourself? Building a conscious relationship with your brain doesn't mean forcing positivity. It means understanding your operating system. Step 1. Get curious about your beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't maintain all of this, pause and ask, is this always true? Where did I learn this? Who modeled this belief for me? What did it protect me from in the past? You're not trying to gaslight yourself. You're trying to create a more balanced thought. Not everything is easy, but maybe this is hard and I've handled hard things before. That shift is small, but repeatedly, it rewires interpretation. My second step is gratitude as a practice skill. Hedonic adaptation makes you forget how far you've come. Slow down daily and reflect internally. What is objectively better in my life than it was a year ago? What is one thing that used to feel impossible that's now my new normal? You don't do this to deny difficulty, do this to correct your brain's bias. Third step is to separate your skill from your identity. Thank your hypervigilance. It makes you good at your job, but it doesn't need to run your entire life. Creating transition rituals helps with this practically. After work, creating a ritual that helps you transition from your work self to your private self helps to build this switch on and off in your brain. Take a shower, change your clothes, take a long way home, or do a short meditation where you affirm that this mode of your brain can rest in peace for the rest of the day. The next step is to expand your identity. If medicine is 90% of who you are, your brain will constantly optimize. You need counterweights not as productivity, but as permissions. Take dance classes, creative hobbies, group activities, movement that isn't measured. Not to become impressive, but to remember how it feels to exist without evaluation. So, the truth is that if you never examine your internal beliefs, you might recreate the same environment anywhere you go. That's what anywhere you go, there you are really means. You don't need to change your life. You just need to change the brain experiencing it. Becoming a doctor is an external achievement. Learning how to live inside your own mind is an internal one. The latter determines whether you feel your success as heavy or meaningful. Just the fact that you're questioning your brain instead of blaming your life means you're already on the path of building that conscious relationship with it. Thank you guys for joining me on this video. I know most of my videos so far have been produced for med student audiences, but you guys will all become doctors one day, and I just want you to be able to enjoy the life you worked so hard for. Let me know in the comments if this resonated with you, or if you just have a suggestion for another topic of a video. See you guys in the next one.